again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller, and today I'm going to be doing the second half of my What Solds for last weekend, which would have been February 4th through the 6th. Somebody asked me a question about freight forwarding. Now I know there's been other videos out recently about issues with freight forwarding, but all I can tell you is freight forwarding is when international buyers use these companies that are usually either on the East Coast or the West Coast, and you ship your item to that company, and then that company potentially could repack your package, and then they send them off to international buyers. eBay does not provide any buyer protections when a buyer does that, because once it gets to that freight forwarding company, our responsibility is done. I just had this happen recently where 6 weeks later, when they finally get it, they start claiming that the item is broken. All I do is keep responding. This went through a freight forwarding company, and you'll know them because there'll be their name, and then there'll be a code or something that shows you, just like when you're doing global shipping, that some kind of special number has been assigned to it. But a lot of times I just tell them, you used a freight forwarding company, you're going to have to get with that company if there was any damage to your package. I'm fine with freight forwarding. You just need to stick to your guns and say if there's any damage, they need to contact. And I bet you I responded 5 times, and at some point you just got to quit. But you need to check with the freight forwarding company because the item was not damaged when I shipped it, and I'm not sure if they repackaged it. So you need to check with them, and then I never hear from them again. So that's what freight forwarding is. I'm fine with it. All right, this time I told you sales have kind of diminished a little bit. I still have some good ones to share with you, but I only have one Facebook order. I have no Mercari, no Bonanza, no Etsy. Now since then, I've had a Mercari. Bonanza's been good relative for the last 2 months compared to the same time period last year. I want to say I've had 15 orders or so in the last since the beginning of the year. So it's good, and it's so easy. If you're not doing Bonanza, definitely check into it. It is so simple. And then I've had a couple of Etsy sales since, but I think 3. But for this last weekend, it was slow. That's okay. 3 days, I can live with it. All right, first item. This is a Custom Creations by Alicia's. I see this every once in a while. Not a whole lot, but it was very plain little plush. I'm going to show you a picture here. I listed it and sold it for $7.95 immediately. This next item, a lot of times, especially when I'm going to these consignment sales that I like to go to, I'll buy a bag of toys for something in there, and then I end up with all of these Infantino, Playgrow, just a lot of the baby toys that can hook to strollers and stuff like that. A lot, like in this case, I took 2 of them. One was by Playgrow and one was Infantino. Made a small lot, list it for $9.95, and just keep on. This baby lot, I took a best offer of $6 on. I probably did not even pay $6 for the entire bag of stuff, so I'm good. This was from my online estate sale through High Bid. I'm at the point where most everything that's left is probably stuff I'm going to take over to the booth. It's a lot of littles, a lot of fast food toys and other things. There's probably still some gems in there, but it's like 3 huge boxes of just stuff that I haven't gone through. I just finished processing a bag of M&M's plush. I showed that on my live the other day. That was like the last bag of stuff. And so, now it's going to be just, I have made so much profit on this already. I only spent $591. And I think the last time I tabulated, which I've stopped at this point, it was like over $4,000 I made and that was not with a whole lot of sales. Probably maybe 300 sales, and I had thousands of items, so I'm good. But anyway, this was a Boyd's Bear Little Debbie Snacks plush. I think when I found it, it was still kind of sort of in a bag, but the bag had issues, so I went ahead and pulled it out. She was in beautiful condition, and I took a best offer of $14 for her. This is Ty Beanie. It was a baby Giganto woolly mammoth from 2001. It sold for a best offer of $8. This is Fiesta. It was a brindley bear, cute in its little PJs. I sold it for best offer of $8. A lot of times when I'm having these whole dollars, that's offers I have sent out. I have had such great luck doing that, especially when times are slow and, you know, the sales just keep coming. So if you're not doing that, I do it usually first thing in the morning when I'm doing all of my listings and my file maintenance. And then I try to do it throughout the day as I see, you know, it accumulate to 10 or 12 or 15 of them. I don't do percents. I look at any previous offers I've sent out, and I'll either match what I've sent out before, or I'll take it down just a little bit more, hoping that, you know, I hit that threshold where somebody wants to buy it. This is a Douglas Cuddle Toy baby doll. Vintage. Let me show you the tag. Just looked like this. A lot of times now there's a Douglas and it's like black and red cloth tag. But this was when it was still called Cuddle Toys by Douglas. I did sell this for $20.66. I found a bag. This was for my high bid auction also, but I was digging through all of that stuff and I found a bag that was just full of loose and still packaged Subway toys. So I divided it all up, and I've got two sales to share here. I've already sold something for like $20, and I think another sale since then. But this was Subway Winter Sports. I think, yeah, 3 of the 4 were still sealed. The one was still in its bag though, and I ended up selling them for $8.96. This was in an advertising bag of Plush that I picked up at a yard sale for $5. This was just this vintage Florida orange pencil case, kind of that plasticky, had the little googly eyes, and still had the pencils and stuff in there. And I took a best offer of $16 for it. These were from the recent sourcing trip to St. Louis. Bought a bunch of little people. A lot of them were from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse series. I decided to put these 3 together, Goofy, Pluto, and then a little boy that was wearing the Goofy hat. And I sold it for best offer of $15. These were Olympic mascot plush from 2008 Beijing. I had them listed separately. I want to say like $5 each. Did not sell, did not sell, did not sell. The other day I've been doing a whole lot of combining stuff into lots with all of these littles that I picked up from St. Louis, and came across this listing somehow, and I thought I'm just going to end all 4 of them listed individually, put them together, and sold them almost immediately for the $16.95. I showed this recently in one of my hauls. This was a Russ Rutherford monkey thumbsucker plush. This one's cute because you could stick his thumb either in his ears, up his nose, in his mouth. It's cute. I kind of posed it. And he sold really quickly. I took a best offer of $10.75. This is one of the other Subway lots. This was Dexter's Laboratory. It was 5 of the, I think there were 5 or 6. It might have been the complete set. I'm not sure, but 2 of them were loose, and I sold it for $26.95. This was a white plush bear. I think it said I love you, and it was by Royal Plush, but just kind of cute here. Vintage looking. Let me see what the tag says. Yeah, Royal Plush Toys Inc. I hadn't ever had that brand before. And let me see, it sold for the $12.95. I love the vintage stuff. I'm gonna always, I just had a Mercari sale, and I'll share it next week because it's for next week. But he sent me a message saying it was a plush dog, and he says, I have bare recollections of this as a child, and he said when I saw it I just had to have it. And so he's already received it and left me great feedback on Mercari. I love Mercari. If you're not listing there now, I don't have as much listings there yet as I need to. I think I'm up to like 700 or 800, and I'm having, you know, a few sales here and there. But I love the fact that when they receive it, they have 3 days to rate you. And a lot of times I do get rates pretty quickly, and then you rate them back. The bad thing is you don't see what they've done. But that's, I'm 5 stars all across. I've never had a negative transaction on there. And then you get your money. You know, then you go in and you just have your money. Don't accumulate money on Mercari. Just every time you get the $10 minimum, transfer it out. Just my opinion. But if they don't rate you by 3 days, it auto rates and you get your money. There's no refunds unless they've done something before the 3 days. So I love that. I wish more sites would do that. All right. This is Nanco Aliens. Every time, this is probably the 3rd or 4th one of these that I have found. They sell. They do not sit in my store very long. And this was one of those ones also. Oh, I sold one previously for like $9 because I had to wash it and all of this silver lining right here came off. So I just stated that in the listing. This one was clean. I just steamed it. It was good to go. And it sold for $10.25. Aliens. This is a Hallmark Rhonda reindeer. I talk about this brand a lot for the little 4-inch plush. This was one of the larger ones. She was 10 inches. She still had her paper tag. And I ended up selling her for best offer of $15. This is Kelly Toy. I love Kelly Toy. This one's from 2018. The bear was, the heart that the bear is holding was shaped like a basketball. So I just thought it was adorable. And it sold for $11.66. This is Little Tykes Waffle Blocks. I think Robert picked this up last summer when he was out west traveling and visiting, and he brought me back a whole bunch. I had the horses and the Toddle Tots that looked like knights and kings and queens. I kept it separate and sold it almost immediately. They're very hard to find. And then this was just the pieces that build the castle. Took me a little while. It's been listed a year, and I ended up taking a best offer of $25 for it. This is Commonwealth Bear Plush from 2000. It was large, 24 inches. Had some wear, which I noted in the description and in pictures, and I ended up taking a best offer for him also of $25. This is Pier 1 Imports coffee mug. Cute. I want to say there were like 6 of them maybe. I paid $5 for the lot. And then I listed each one separately. There was one that was like a giraffe, an elephant, and this monkey, and like arms or trunks were the arm or the cup handle. I sold this Pier 1 for a best offer of $11. Robert packs these for me. I think we've showed it once in maybe one of the lives, but he takes those pillows, the puffy pillow packing, and he wraps one on each side of the handle, and then he wraps it in bubble wrap. And we've not had any issues, but definitely protect those handles a little more. These are mine. I picked them up at a yard sale. I'm like that. I like to buy, you know, here's my North Face jacket. I think I paid $20 for a 3-piece jacket. I'm all about buying my stuff at yard sales. I probably paid $5 or less for these. I didn't like them. They're hard. They were hard when you stepped on them. I'm just used to my tennis shoes, I guess. Or Crocs. I love Crocs to my sister's disdain. But I went ahead and listed these and sold them for $25.46. I went to an estate sale. It's probably been 2 years and spent probably $300 and some dollars. Whoever was a collector and kept everything in their packaging, and I just bought tons of littles, and I'm down to not very much of it is left. But this was it was a Play School die-cast car. This was Furball. I think I had 4 or 5 of these originally from Tiny Toons, and I ended up selling him for $8.05. This was a Black Hawk bird from, it was advertising Plush for Northrop Grumman Black Hawk. Just put all those keywords in there, and it sold very quickly. I took a best offer of $12.25 for it. This is a viewer buy. Thank you very much, Sharon. This is a Disney Cheshire Cat coffee mug, and it sold for best offer of $15. Thank you, Sharon. I'm going to try to come up with some like stickers or something that I can start putting in packages for viewer sales. But that's what I was going to talk about. I want somebody, if anybody's got ideas, I need to figure out how I can get something with my, I don't even have a logo. So I need a logo, and then I would like to start with stickers. But if anybody's got suggestions on what a logo could look like for me and how I go about getting it. I've heard of Fiverr, but I don't know a whole lot about it. But I really would like to get stickers, at least initially, to start sending with some of these viewer sales. So help me out. Tell me what I need to do to get that started. Next is this Hallmark duck or chick plush. Had these humongous eyes. Just kind of odd sales though, right? And I sold it for $9.86. I'm not sure. When I showed this in a haul, I had a viewer tell me that she was interested in this. I sent, and I'm not sure if this is the viewer who bought it. They didn't leave me any notes. But this was a Little Tikes Twinkle Twinkle Little Star lovey type thing. It did have a music box inside of it. I was just going to send it to my booth until the viewer asked about it. But because it had a little tiny hole. I'm not about only listing perfect stuff, but a lot of times if I can think I might have an issue, then sometimes I just take it over to my booth. But this one had, I'm not even sure. I know I showed it somewhere. Let me keep on keeping on. Yeah, right here. There was a little hole up near the face right here. I think maybe a tag was attached to it. These were some pajamas we picked up at an estate sale this past year. I want to say we paid $3 maybe for it. I don't remember. But a lot of times, you know, somebody wants this particular brand, this size, these types of pajamas. And I ended up selling it for the $33.96. These were from the high bid online auction also. I think this was the complete series of, I ended up looking at the tags and it showed on each one of them that this was series 4. They all had this like velvety look to them. So I went ahead and put them all together. 2 had paper tags, the rest did not. They did have some wear, all of that's noted. And I took a best offer of $50 on them. This is from Mighty Star. I like that brand. A lot of times it also says like Polar Puff 24K, a whole bunch of stuff like this. This was from 1997. Just a plain old mouse here. but it had a beanie body, and it sold for $11.66. Now these next two are my big sales for the weekend. This was from a book series, I guess, Giant Narwhal and a jellyfish type plush. It was by Merrymakers. They're large. The narwhal was 25 inches long. At one point, I couldn't find anything like them. I think I saw something on Amazon, which led me to put that price on there. I couldn't find anything anywhere else. I may have seen something on a manufacturer's site. I don't remember because they've been listed a while. I ended up having somebody send me a $55 offer, and I went ahead and accepted it. But definitely, I love to buy stuff, animals that go with books. They tend to do really well. I just, sometimes your price might affect that. And, I always say this, when I get an offer, I make it an opportunity to go check comps, see what's selling, check the 90 days, go into Terapeak, check the 1 year, just to see, how prices are going. And so I went ahead and took the offer. Now this is a story. Don't judge me on the pictures, because this was a combined order for a global shipping. I'm not going to go into details. This turned into a mess, but in the end, we got it all hammered out. I did this, but if you notice, I kept copies of the original pictures. This was from my online estate sale also. This was 24 of the Tycho Sesame Street plush. I think I was only missing one of them, which was like the green honker. And originally he bought all 4 separate, but he would have paid a horrible amount of money to get them all shipped. But we had some issues. But I went ahead, I took the initial picture. It's just, I bag everything. I really did not want to redo all of this and lay out 28 plush. So what I did was I left the original pictures for the large lot. I ended everything because I had relisted it. We had issues. And then for each of the others, I just took a snip. What is that called when you snip? And put the first picture of all the other items that he wanted in there. And then down here, I copy and pasted the description for each of the 4 items. And then I threw in an extra plush. It was just something extra I had that went along with them. And then he repurchased it again through the global shipping program. He did pay $170 for this lot, plus whatever he paid to the global shipping program. But, so, sometimes you just kind of got to get through the process, and hopefully, in the end, I'm not going to have continued issues with him. And then, my one and only Facebook Marketplace order, which was this Walmart bear that sold for $9. All right, I'm going to get working on some new stuff. I'm going to do another haul. I'm ready to do some more of the St. Louis. I'm down to probably 4 more hauls maybe from it, and then I think we're going to go do it again. All right, bye.